Alright, some things we're going to need to do this job properly. First off, obviously some oil. We got Valvoline synthetic blend. You can get this at Lowe's, Home Depot, auto parts store. It's around $20. Then we got a Fram filter. The Chevy 4.3 liter V6 Vortec takes the 3387. We got some rags, the oil drain pan, a funnel. Also, to remove the drain plug, 13mm ratchet, something to lay down on when you're under the vehicle. And then I've got some wood planks to drive it up on just so that I can get a little bit more elevation to get under it. For an oil filter wrench, I mean, mine's hand tight, so I usually don't need a wrench, but you can use an actual oil filter wrench, one that has a ratchet that has the big cup that goes onto the filter, or you could use a belt or any preferred method. So that's what you need, and we're gonna get going with it now. So to get started with the truck, we're gonna just elevate the front a little bit. I just drove it up on some wood planks here, and then this will just provide enough clearance for me to fit under here. If you have a four-wheel drive, two-wheel drive, etc., it's gonna change that, and depending on how big you are, you might need to drive it up on ramps, or you could just leave it on level ground. Totally up to what you need. Then we're going to come over here and we're going to vent the crankcase so that the oil will come out better. And here we have the oil cap, and we're just going to unscrew this and take the cap off and set it aside. Next, we're going to come underneath the vehicle and find the oil pan, and there's a drain plug right here. This is the 13mm. We're going to loosen that with our ratchet and position the drain pan to catch all the oil as it's coming out. And there goes the oil. So we're going to let that drain, and then we'll move over to the filter. Here we can see the drain plug. If we take a look at the inside, there's a piece of rubber there that's integrated into the plug, so we don't need to worry about changing the plug or replacing the washer. But after every few oil changes, just so that this doesn't leak, I'm sure the rubber will wear out and dry out. Get a new plug, but for right now, this one was replaced not that long ago. We're just going to tighten this back in and continue to use it. And remember, we don't want to put it too tight. We don't want the plug to stick, and we don't want to have to worry about getting a jammed plug out. So just snug and let that rubber do its job to seal the oil in. Now we can see the oil filter up here. This one isn't on too tight. Sometimes you can need a oil filter wrench to get it off, but I'm just going to hold it with a rag and unscrew it. And we want to do this over the pan because oil will fall out. And it comes down like so. And the filter is removed. So here we have our new oil filter. And what we're going to do before we put this one in is just take it out, and we can see the rubber on here. We're just going to put some oil on it so that it seals and seats to the metal on the block, on the bottom of the block. So now we can take this filter, screw it on nice and snug by hand, and that should be it. Okay, so now that the drain plug is in and tightened, and the oil filter is now tightened as well, and we're all secured underneath, we can now fill the engine with oil again. So we're going to take our funnel, put it in here. Always make sure to clean the inside of the funnel. You don't want any dirt or sand or old oil getting inside of the engine, so I clean it out every time. Just force a rag or a paper towel through there, and then we're just going to come in and fill the engine with oil. After adding almost the entire bottle of oil, we're now just going to replace the cap and the dipstick right here. We're going to check to make sure that the oil level is where it needs to be. There's a min and max marking, and we want to make sure it's right in between there. Looks good right now, but we're going to start up the engine, circulate the oil, and then check it again once it pumps it through the new filter and everything. After running the engine for a couple minutes, we're just going to check the level again. So we'll give it a wipe. And we're right in between the min and max. We might be able to add a little bit, but we're just about there. So I'm going to add some, check it again, and then we're good to go. Okay, now to reset the change engine oil service light, we're going to turn the ignition to on, and it says change engine oil. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the ignition off, and then when we turn it to on again, we're going to press the accelerator pedal 3 times within 5 seconds, and then it's going to say engine oil life, reset, and then that should be good. So we're going to go on. 1, 2, 3. Change engine oil. Oil life, reset, it says. And then you wait. And you're good to go.